Hey guys, welcome back. It's the 25th, 26th, and 27th of August 2025. Let's talk about it. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment if you want to see me make a 6 on today or 7 years. And we just streamed our big exercises. The exercises are for interviews. Today we did a blog, and another day we're gonna do like a multi-step form and those kinds of stuff for interviews. So if you're interested in that, doing that in React, make sure to subscribe. All right, let's get into the video. So basically, we have finished our before we're gonna do that, let's get into announcements. Basically, we have finished our projects for our portfolio, and now the only thing that we can do is practice, practice, practice before starting the new season. And the new season starts in September. Basically, we're gonna focus on the full stack set of things, and we had a secret project, and that is also stashed for now. We want to make sure that we get something this winter and make sure that we build consistency towards practice. So yeah, that is something that you need to know. And today we're going to talk about that. I had a couple of interviews, and I was specifically talk about things that I did wrong or I did right, but also the offers that I get and the bullshit curveballs that have been thrown at me, which is going to be very interesting. So this is going to be a story time. So this couple of weeks, I had six interviews. A couple of them were postponed, a couple of them were cancelled, a couple of them went through, but and a couple of them eventually stranded as well. So we are down with one interview for now. This is a very normal thing. Not everyone can be in your luck. Sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you are not. So yeah, let's talk about the two stories that I have for you. So the first story is going to be that I got a company. Let's call this company A, and company A decided to want to have a conversation with me, but I changed the date because I couldn't make it that day because I have a healthcare appointment. And then I got an email, and that email says, "Hey, just make this assessment, and yeah, we will have a meeting next week and we can talk about it." But for me, that's a little bit off because we haven't talked yet. I don't know you like that, and you're expecting me to do homework. I think that is a bit weird, in my opinion. I can understand their perspective, that they want to filter out the people that don't want to do it. But to be honest, if you haven't talked even for like 5 minutes, I don't think this is a reasonable thing to do, in my opinion. So what I told them is like, hey, I can make this assessment for you while you're watching, while I'm doing it live. And you can also hear my thought process while I am creating it. And obviously, I got ghosted. Now, there's a couple reasons why I can get ghosted for that. The first reason is that, okay, he's too hard to get, right? Like, he's just, not doing as we say. He's going to be stubborn at the job. That's the first thing, if they're legit. Now, if they are not kind of legit, they could be like, hey, we don't want, we want to have a person that just makes it, and if it has a good idea, we can implement it in our, in our code base, because it was a pretty big deal. It wasn't too long of an assessment, but it's basically something they can integrate. And I don't like that idea that I have to integrate it, something that can be integrated in a related homework, right? A related assessment. Like, it can be something off topic. I can totally understand that, but not something that they're gonna add as a feature. So yeah, I threw the curveball, and yeah, I got ghosted. Another reason that they could do that is that they found out that they cannot try me to make free stuff. So it's a scam, right? And that's why, I'm laid off. No free lunch here. The third thing is that they don't want to spend time on me making that assessment, because they think it's a waste of time. But that's not how you should see your ideal candidate. For me, that basically means they are thinking about firing someone, but they're looking for someone for a replacement, and that replacement should be better than what they currently had. And that's totally fine that they can think that way. But for me, to be honest, um, having that thought does make me feel uncomfortable. So I did not, I'm not gonna respond to them. I'm just gonna be like, hey, I did this right. And I think that companies should understand that I am not to be messed around with. And some people just do everything and they make like a big assignment and get ghost strike 3 times before they learn. I learn even before that happens. Now let's go to the second story that I have for you. We had a second interview somewhere, and the interview went really well. They asked me for references and showed me a little bit of code and what they do. Basically, I was there alone with 2 people. It was just a startup. He sold his previous startup and is starting a new one. I totally understand the perspective, and it was a pretty good idea. But the first question for me was, okay, did you try to sell it already? And he said, well, I first want to have a full-fledged product. And I'm like, that is a huge first flag for me because we live in 2025. In 2025, you sell before you have the product already, right? You sell like a little bit, right? And there was nothing like that. So he was way too comfortable. And I was thinking like, okay, what if I don't get paid? So that was the first thing. And the second thing is, when I look at the code base, he showed me a little bit about the code base. It was like JS docs mixed with class-oriented, like oriented object project OOP, object-oriented programming, I think it's called. I haven't done that for 4 years because usually you will do functional programming in Next.js unless you use PageRouter. But he was using AppRouter with class-oriented objects, with TypeScript, with JS docs, using Dynamics. And using Zod and using Prisma, which are libraries if you don't know,